What's up everyone, and welcome to the channel. So today we get to take a look at the 2024 Chevrolet Silverado. This is a 2500 HD ZR2, finished off in red hot. MSRP is just over $86,000. Now this one is equipped with the optional 6.6 liter Duramax turbo diesel V8 that's paired to the 10-speed automatic transmission, pumping out 470 horsepower, 975 pound-feet of torque. Now that power is primarily sent to the rear wheels. However, this truck does have the four-wheel drive system. It weighs in right around 8,500 pounds. 0 to 60 is 6.5 seconds. Top speed is just shy of 100 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 36 gallons. You'll expect to see around 20 miles per gallon in the city, 22 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 158.9 inches. Its overall length is 250 inches. It has a width of 81.9, a height of 79.8, and its ground clearance measures in at 10.1 inches. As we move on now to the exterior styling for this Silverado, well, let's start off with the massive presence that this truck has. This is a massive truck, so everything up front is very proportional but large at the same time. So with the Chevy bow tie right in the middle, it is wider than my hand from thumb to pinky there. So definitely very large. All the red accents complement it nicely. Forward-facing camera is underneath to give you that added visibility. And then the entire grille is finished off in gloss black with a lot of cutouts. ZR2 is also over on that driver's side. Now up top, this is a functional inlet with Chevrolet stamped just underneath that, which is a great touch. There's some nice bulges on both sides of that hood, leading all the way to the back where we have that Duramax badge finished off in chrome for both sides. Now this does have a set of LED headlights, DRLs, and turn signals with a very nice shape for the housing. You'll notice that there's some more gloss black trim in between the headlight high beams and the lower section of that housing. And then there's the LED fog lights in the gloss black bumper. Now this does have tow hooks up front with one on each side, more inlets, and there's also some skid plates up underneath. Now as we work our way to the side, this gets a set of 35-inch tires with that 18-inch wheel finished off in gloss black. And this truck also has the multimatic suspension. It gives it a little bit of a lift kit over not having that, of course, and it's a very nice suspension both for on-road and for off-road settings. Now we have the 2500 HD badge down below along with ZR2, and this has the telescoping side mirrors. Turn signals are up top. There's also some spotlights and the camera system too. And these will go out if you need a little bit more visibility for towing. There's a sunroof up top, gloss black on those door handles. And this is the crew cab with the longer bed. So that provides it with the step at the front of the bed where you can easily step into that, and then you can gain access to any items that you have back there. And as we work our way to the back, you will notice with the multimatic tailgate, there is a line right in the middle of the tailgate, which we'll come back to. Silverado and ZR2 are back there. This does have a backup camera. There's also a spotlight too. Gloss black for that rear bumper. We have that massive exhaust over on the passenger side. There's also a step integrated into that bumper too, so that way you can use those when the tailgate is down. And this truck can also tow up to 22,500 pounds. Very capable. It has the fifth wheel option too to tow even more than that. Now this does have remote start, so let's lock the vehicle, double tap this button, and we can fire that right up. Very nice for a diesel, of course. If you hold on that, you can shut the truck off, and then we have lock, unlock. You can also use the key fob to open up the tailgate. And with that down, this truck has the spray-in bed liner. Very small wheel arches too, allowing you to put in a lot more items. There's also tie-down hooks in each corner, so you can tie down any items. There's a 3-prong outlet over on this passenger side, and there's also a few more outlets on this driver's side that you can use for your trailer hookups, and there's even a grab handle that you can lock out. So with that out and this multimatic tailgate, I'm gonna push on the top button. That's going to drop that entire section. From there, I can pull that step down. And with that grab handle, this makes it so much easier to enter this truck, especially if you're doing it every single day. We can take a look at the cargo light along with an additional camera and a spotlight. So again, very helpful. And what's awesome to see about this too is you can actually lift this up and lock it into place where now you have a bed extender basically. So you can put in items and have that as a backdrop. And then you can easily close that. We can close the tailgate itself, and then we can actually just open up the top section. So now if you need an area to rest, or maybe you have some items that you want to stick out of the bed, but you want to have them down, or you can go one step further and now you have a different backing. So not only is it very helpful for entering the truck, but it's also very practical for loading this up with whatever items that you may have for the day. Now, as we work our way to the back seats, being such a massive truck, this gets the power folding side steps. Even at 5'10", those are extremely helpful to have. Door panel has a nice design with the gray leather along with the yellow stitching. There's the release handle, some more trim accents that surround it, and a lot of storage space in the lower section of the door. Now, as we work our way to these seats, they have that two-tone design. You'll notice too, on both end seats, you can pull that door open where you have some hidden storage space, and you can also flip up the bottoms. So they will lock into place. You do that on both sides. That gives you a much larger area to place in some additional items. There's even a divider if you want to put some smaller items on one side. From here, just give the seat a good firm pull, and you can lock that back into place. And with the side step and the grab handle, I can easily work my way up into this truck. Now we have storage pockets behind both front seats, cup holders. These are even heated too. There's some auxiliaries and some climate adjustments. And I have a ton of space, even 4 or 5 inches above my head. This is a full-size truck, so full-size adults can fit very comfortably in the back. No shortage of space for anyone. There's the armrest with cup holders, more storage. This also has the electronic sliding rear glass if you need to use that. And from this angle, hopefully you can tell just how farther up this headliner goes for your backseat passengers. So it definitely provides you with a lot of additional height. And as we work our way to the driver door panel now, everything is the same. You'll notice the Bose emblem for the Bose audio, more storage down below, and then we even have memory seating adjustments, all these side mirror adjustments. They are power folding and telescoping, like I mentioned earlier. So you can get extra visibility when you have trailers hooked up, and all of the window controls are there too. Now ZR2 is down on the door sill, and then for the heated and ventilated front seats, very nice design with the lateral support. They're automatic too, so all of those controls are nicely laid out. And as we hop up into this truck now, we have the solid leather steering wheel. On this left side, there's all the cruise and adaptive cruise control settings with your distance pacing and the heated steering wheel. Right side gives you a Bluetooth and voice commands, and all these controls are for the gauge cluster. There's also volume and tuning adjustments behind both sides. But let's fire this up, and we can go over the rest of this information. And so looking at the digital gauge cluster now, the left side has miles per hour, tach is on the right side along with what gear you're in. You can monitor if you're in 2-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive down there as well. In the lower section, there's the engine temperature and the fuel level. Now, using the rotary dial and all of the arrows on the right side, we can scroll through a lot more information like driver assistance. You have a lot of vitals that you can look at too. And then I can scroll over to music. There's also the compass. You have your phone when that is paired. And then you can even go through a lot of options. So if I start up at the top, we have the display layout. So it's currently been in classic. If we go to progressive, you will see it change. So we just have a slightly different display there. Now we have digital, where it will change one more time. And then clean is going to give you less information, of course. So it's just going to show you miles per hour. This will disappear once you've been driving for a little bit, just to give you that clean display, and then you can bring it back up in order to change that as needed. Now, once we are back into this display, you can also change what you would like to see on both sides. So over on that right side, I can bring up some more information, just depending on what you'd like to see the most. And then in the lower section too, you have speed warning, you even have the head-up display, which is currently just showing the miles per hour. It of course shows the speed limit sign too, and then you can reset everything. So a lot of helpful and usable info front and center. And then let's work our way to the column mounted shifter now. By pulling that down one, that will put it into reverse, of course. And now we have the full 360-degree view. Now you can push on all these angles to go to the forward and rear facing angles, which is nice to see. There's even a hitch view, and I can expand it too and take a look at the bed. Now, of course, I can go into drive as well, where that will automatically change some of these settings here. So now you can look at the forward facing angles. But it's very nice to have this amount of visibility, especially for a truck of this size. Park is all the way at the top, and you can use plus and minus to shift as needed. Now on this far left side, there's the e-brake. We have different driving modes too, just by twisting that. There's off-road and normal. You can also click on the trailering button to go into the trailering mode. We have all the four-wheel drive selectors. There's even a spotlight or the cargo light for the bed. We have the headlight and fog light adjustments, some dimmer switches too, and then the head-up display adjustments. So like I mentioned earlier, it's just showing the miles per hour right now, but I can even show the distance pacing, the compass, and then there's even the pitch and roll and the transfer case. So just depending on what you'd like to see, you can adjust the brightness as well as adjust the height for it too. And then there's a little bit of storage up top. And now we can move on to the massive infotainment system. On this left side, this is how it's currently set up. So we have the trailering system. When you have everything hooked up, you can go through all of that. There's also your phone when you have that paired. You can pull up Google Maps, so you can have that in full screen to go through all of that information as needed. There's even a shortcut to the music. And then the last one will bring up these icons. So we can go to audio, maps, your phone. You can quickly pull up the camera system, which is very helpful. There's your trailering, you have climate adjustments that you can easily go into. This does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so you can use those as needed. And hopefully you've been able to tell the entire right side has been fixed. So you can scroll through some information on that side while you have info appearing on the left side. Now underneath that, there's a home button along with power and volume for the radio. We have the exhaust brake, lane keeping assist, and parking sensors. You can also open up the tailgate. There's the hazards and traction control. You can put all four windows down with the push of one button. It would be cool to see that go in the opposite direction, but it's nice that you do get that. There's a rear locker as well as a downhill assist. And then working our way underneath that, all of the climate adjustments are laid out very nicely. We have the heated and ventilated seats, temperature dials for driver and passenger, fan speed, where you'd like the air to go, some other recircs. This is how you can hook up for Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. There's also the trailer braking system too. A lot of storage space down below to place additional items. There's cup holder storage. Wireless charging is underneath the center armrest, where you do have a removable tray and a ton of space with additional auxiliaries to charge some more items. And then on the passenger side, you get two glove boxes. You get a smaller one up top, so that's a nice use of space, and then even more in the glove box located down below. Now up top for the rear view mirror, we have the camera system like I mentioned earlier to give you even more visibility. There's garage door buttons up top along with the sunroof and sunshade adjustments and the rear window that you can adjust to. Up top we have the manual sliding sunshade, and then you can use those controls for the sunroof. And as far as visibility goes, this is a massive truck, but honestly it is not that hard to see around, which is really nice. As we set up now behind the wheel for this Duramax, we've had a lot of 1500s on our channel, but this is the first 2500 and the first of the full-size trucks to also have the longer bed as well. Now we did take a 1500 ZR2 off-roading, and we're very impressed with how that did for its size. This is going to be a little bit bigger, but it has that same multimatic suspension to take this off-road if you need to. This is not a vehicle you're buying to off-road, but if you're going down utility trails or whatever it may be that is not pavement, this has all the off-road tech that you need. And this suspension not only will help with better articulation off-road, but it's going to give you a very smooth ride on-road. So we have a lot of seat time in Silverados with the same suspension, and it's very nice. It's a good blend for the on-road driving that 99% of the time this truck will do, and for that 1% where you need to tow something or go down, you're going hunting, whatever it may be, you have the suspension and capabilities to do that. So for $86,000, it's not a bad price when you look at how expensive full-size trucks have become and the fact that we're in a 2500. I believe this starts just a little bit more than a 1500. So if you really need that extra capabilities from this, it's not all that much more expensive compared to some of the 1500s. Now 86 grand is a ton of money, but if you are buying this truck and you're getting something this large, I hope you are not just daily driving it for fun. You should be using this for the potential or for the capabilities that it has as far as towing, its payload, which I didn't mention. I believe it's in the couple thousand pound range. Now, as far as driving this out on the road, this is one of the most comfortable trucks that I've driven. Like I said, we've been in the smaller version Silverados, and this is a great daily driver. So if you're buying it for your business and you're putting a lot of seat time behind the wheel, a lot of people will argue, why are you spending that much for a pickup truck? You're also spending that much for something that's going to be just as comfortable to drive. Pickup trucks used to be something that you just bought, you could tow, and there were zero amenities. There was nothing to really make it daily driver. You just had to buy a pickup truck because you needed to tow, but it didn't really give you the daily driving characteristics. So with this, you could absolutely daily drive it. And as far as maneuverability goes, I'm quite impressed with how this is to drive and even park. I have taken this to the grocery store. Well, let's come back to that. With the pedal to the floor, it's a quick truck for its weight. It's not crazy fast, but it's very impressive for the weight of it to get up and move. But coming back to parking situations, I've taken this to a few grocery stores, a few areas where before I got there, I'm like, well, I need to figure out where I'm going to park in order to get there. Honestly, it really hasn't been that bad. I've stuck out a little bit farther than a normal vehicle, so you can still park close to the entrances of places. And with the truck in second gear, here we go. The plus and minus here on the shifter, it's not all that bad. It's not something you are going to use to do a 0 to up to speed, kind of like what I did there, a rolling start. But it is nice if you're towing or you happen to be off the pavement, you can hold a gear as needed. But this is what it is like to sit in the driver's seat of this $86,000 Duramax. Not sure if you will be able to tell until we pass some traffic just how high up we are in this truck. I've been next to 18-wheelers and some other cargo trucks where I am almost eye level to those other truckers. So you are the king of the road in this truck. It's a very high presence, even to be able to see over smaller trucks like that Colorado. I've been next to F-150s, other full-size trucks, Ram 1500s. This is so much larger than those trucks. It's crazy to see what just one little bump up in truck will do to the size of it. And having the long bed doesn't help either with how big this truck is. But don't let that deter you from buying it if you truly need the capabilities of this truck. And everything on the inside is incredibly nice. So yes, it's a lot of money, but you're also getting a pretty luxury and premium interior for that price too, with all the creature comforts and everything just to make it homey to drive every day. So it's a really nice blend of the capabilities for work purposes as a work truck and to be able to daily drive. And as far as the power goes, again, let's give it another acceleration as if we're trying to merge into traffic here and catch up to that car in front of us. We're up to speed, not even an issue. So it's got power, it's got plenty of comfort in this seat. I really don't have any complaints. We've been on road trips in the 1500s and it's a nice place. I'm not sure if massage seats is an option on anything. I can't remember. Would kind of be nice, especially for the price of this. That way you're a little bit more comfortable on those longer work days. But other than that, it's really not missing anything and it's easy to drive. We don't have any drive modes. We have normal and off-road like I mentioned earlier, so there's no sport or anything while you are out on the road. But with 975 pound-feet of torque, you pretty much have all the drive modes at your right foot there. And as far as with these 35s, manufacturers aren't going to put on a large tire that's going to be noisy. So it's an all-terrain tire. It's very comfortable. You don't hear any tire noise. There's no road noise, wind noise, anything like that. And for the size and weight of this truck, it handles well. Not a sports car, but with some of these turns coming up, it can handle them well. It's a nice place to be, again, if you need the practicality and the capabilities from a truck like this. But that is going to wrap it up for this 2024 Chevrolet Silverado Duramax. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up. Consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. And I will see you all in the next video.